So line A, again, y equals negative 3x plus 4, while line B is perpendicular to line A and contains point 0, 1. So parallel lines from the problem before said they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines do not have the same slope. They have opposite in sign and reciprocal, which means we're going to flip. Reciprocal, flippical. All right, so first thing in bit of information is we want to get the slope from this line, y equals negative 3x. Slope from line A is negative 3. That's useful because we have a point. We're going to need the point and a slope of this perpendicular line. So that means we use the point slope again. Magical equation. So magical. Next, x sub 1. All right, so let's plug stuff in. We know a point, so let's use that. This is our x, this is our y. Y is 1, so we're going to subtract 1. If you haven't paused by now, you should. Do this problem. Don't just watch me do it. You don't learn anything by watching me. And x is 0, maybe a little bit, because I'm an awesome, awesome teacher. Right? Okay, so now to fill in the slope, we don't just take the slope of that line. Those would be parallel lines. These are perpendicular lines, so they need to be opposite and reciprocal. So if our slope of line A is negative 3, the opposite of that is going to be positive 3. All right, so it's definitely going to be positive, but it's also going to be the reciprocal, which means we flip. And 3 can be flipped if you just write it over 1. Any number can be written over 1. So if we flip 3 over 1, we get 1/3, and this is a positive slope. All right, so we can distribute this with a hua. This one's easy because 1/3 times x is just going to stay 1/3 x. 1/3 times 0 is 0, so we don't have to do anything with that. However, y is not by itself, and like you probably figured out, we add 1 to both sides. Remember, x and 1, number and a variable, are not like terms, so we have to keep them separate. So we get y equals 1/3 x plus 1 for our final answer. Did you get that? I hope so. All right, our last topic has to do with standard form and the x and y intercepts. You win $3 for each bug you eat, or $4 for each worm you eat. So good. You want to make exactly $24. Graph the ways you can do this. Well, if we, let's not do that. If you can, maybe difficult to see, but we can definitely scoot this over a little bit. And worms eaten is our y-axis, and bugs eaten is our x-axis. So you can make a table of values, figure out how many worms you can eat or bugs you can eat for this amount of money. But let's just think about the extremes. What if you eat, so I'm going to say this is bugs and this is worms. I want to go for the extremes. What if you eat no bugs? Bugs you get paid for $3, worms you get $4. So you want to make exactly $24. You can do that by eating worms for 4, and you can eat 6 of those, because 6 times 4 will give you 24. Or the other extreme is eating no worms. And if you eat no worms, 3 times 8 will give you 24. This will help us graph it because it tells us our x and y intercepts. We know that this is, if we eat 0 bugs, we can eat 6 worms. That is our y-intercept, because if we just go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and put a point, that will be our y-intercept. We also know it's a y-intercept because it's when x equals 0. So that's all the intercepts are, is when it's the extreme of all one variable or all the other variable. And since our y variable is 0 here, this will be our x-intercept, where we go over 8, up 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put a point. Okay, let's try that again. All right, so if I connect those, I will have my line, and this line is not going to be perfect, But you can imagine if it were perfect, it would be beautiful. Now you can try to figure out other points, but what I want to do is, it's essentially this. We're assuming it's a continuous function, even though it's probably more of a discrete variable. I know you guys heard that on your benchmark test recently, discrete variables. And I wanted to talk about what the x and y intercepts are. They're kind of like the extremes, where if you pick all of one thing. And they help us to write the equation of this line, because you can look for the slope and do all that. But if we have it in standard form, we know that x is the x-axis, the bugs eaten, is what we're thinking about. And each time you make $3 for each bug you eat. So 3 times x is how we start in standard form. Plus, you make $4 for each worm you eat. And worms are the y-axis. Next, 3x plus 4y has to total 24. So that's why each number, and this is significant, that is a 4. It's hard to, yep, it doesn't look good. But that's, so 3x plus 4y is equal to 24 is the equation of this line in standard form. That's basically what I need you to get out of it. And finally we come to the end, and your bonus is baby pictures of me. Look at that hair. You can't even see my ears. I was only 1 year old. So, for those people that have been doing so good and practicing these problems on your own without watching me, here's what you can do. Show me this in class before the test, and I will give you extra credit. All you need to do is think about this picture of me as a baby and tell me the word afro. Afro is a special word to know that that you actually watched the video, and of course you're going to have to show me the notes. So if you tell me afro, show me the notes, I'll know you didn't copy them. So let me know. This is a way you can get extra credit before our quarter is over. Good luck, and I will see you guys later.